What we're going to do today is we're going to create, using mail merge, some labels. This is part of the label page that we're going to print. First, we start with our data. I'm going to be using our donor list in Excel. When you're doing mail merge, you need to close the Microsoft Excel file. It will give you some problems if you try to open or have it open while you're doing the mail merge. What I want to point out is you got two tabs on the bottom here, one called Data, one called Combined. You'll want to know what file you want to open and what worksheet tab you're going to be using. We're going to end up using the Data tab, so go ahead and close that. Everything we're going to be doing for mail merge is going to be on the Mailings tab. First thing when we start, we need to say, what are we going to make? We're actually going to make some labels, and the first thing it's going to ask me is what label size. And we're going to be using 8395. And one thing to point out while we're looking at this list that's kind of a gotcha. These look like they're in number order, actually number order, but by text values. So we have 18, 19, and then we go 20, then 21. It brings up a table onto your screen. When you do a mail merge label, you're going to do the upper left square first. You fill everything out in that, and then you'll press a button to adapt to all the others. But now we're going to select our recipients. And as I said, I'm going to use an existing list on Excel, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Remember, we had our worksheet tabs. This has an extra one. You might find that. Find the name of the worksheet, and there will be a $sign after. I'll go ahead and click. This is the label we're going to be starting with. So I know I need the word welcome, and I need the word from. Then in this write and insert field section, I'm just going to do individual merge field. Make sure your cursor is where you want it to go. So I'll put a first name there, and then I'll put the state. Whenever you're making changes to the first ones, if you want to update all the others, you just go ahead right here and choose Update Labels. This is a little hard to look at because it's just giving me the codes. If I'd like to instead, I can just go here to Preview Results. If you want to edit your recipient list, you definitely can do so just from here. It doesn't change your Excel. Maybe you want it to sort them. So if I wanted to sort them by the state they live in, I can do an OK. Now I have Connecticut and Connecticut. It will only show me a page worth. And I'm going to go back here and I'll go back and sort by first name. Now what I'm going to do is make some more changes to this very first one. We'll preview, and then we'll get ready to get them ready. On the title, I'm going to go ahead and change my font. I'm going to go ahead and change it to 28, bold, italics, and I like expanding the text, which I know is not necessarily everybody's preference, but just it puts a little more space between, and I'll go ahead and center that. For the name, we'll turn it green, and we'll make it 36. We'll center that also. I'm gonna have to take away one of these spaces. And as I said, we're doing just one. Whenever I want to change these, I just go over here to Update Labels. We'll go ahead and change these two first before I do that. Nothing too crazy. Leave the image off for now. Go back to our Mailings tab, and I said if you want to, you just update. Now they've updated. I can then hand spot check certain ones. And if you are going to be using this arrow, so we have Blake, Blessing, Brooke, Charlie. As I advance, it's only advancing one thing. So Charlie moved over one. If I go next, so it's saying in the upper corner is the third record. But what I know is I have a person called Petunia, and her name is very large. You want to kind of say, oh, do I have any exceedingly large? Well, that's not going to work. So I'm actually going to, I could change her here, but I'm just going to go to the one over and work on Peter. So we're going to take them down to a 34. Again, doesn't change this one. It changes this one. And then update label. Now I'm just going to add my picture. Picture could come from anything you can insert into Word, you can insert in here. And I'm actually going to have this have text wrapping, but fixed position on page. I'll show you in a second why I did it that way. So we have that. Mailings tab. Update our labels. Yeah, this time I will just put Petunia as the one I'm changing. Just had to be a little bit over. So Massachusetts also happens to be a very long one. We're going to finish up our merge. And the way we did this is we finish and merge. So as I said, this document was called Mail Merge Labels. It's going to create for us another Word document. So I'm going to go ahead and edit individual documents. So I can choose a specific record, or I can choose all of them, which I'll do. And now we have a brand new document that has all of our labels. We have 7 pages of labels. And because we had a number that wasn't even, we are going to see, and I'm just scrolling down as I'm talking, that this page will only print 2 labels, and then they will print just the rest with the blank template. So there was nothing in the name field it found, nothing in the state field. That's why I put my picture to stay in place so that it didn't move down. And this document, whatever changes you make to it will not change. So I can just, maybe I want to use these as some spare labels. Maybe you want to just blank them out so they just go through without anything on them. You'll just delete the elements because this right now is just an element to be deleted. You may also come through and say, oh, dang it. You know, maybe there's a space between her name that I need to fix. And fixing it here doesn't change anything else. And I know William is actually from Kansas. You know, I just got an email the other day. William moved to Kansas. He's no longer in Kentucky. And it's, again, not changing my database. It's just something that as I change it. So I'll leave this label one up for a second and just go back to this. So if maybe I wanted to go here and edit, I actually said, you know what, we really need them in order by state. So I'm just going to change the state so all the states are the same. Again, if I finish and merge and edit the individual documents, I will see when I get to William, who is in the case, now Kentucky. I'm in a new document, label 2. So there you have your labels where you're able to use your mailings tab in Microsoft Word from start to finish. I hope it's helped, and thank you.